Have you ever wondered why your money seems to disappear before the end of the month? Why even after a salary increase, you still feel financially squeezed? The answer might lie in something many people overlook: financial education. Imagine, your financial life is like a car. You might have a great model with a full tank, your monthly salary, but if you don't know how to drive, you're going to crash or end up stuck on the shoulder. And worse, sometimes you don't even realize you're heading in the wrong direction. A lot of people make money mistakes without even realizing it. They live on autopilot, get paid, pay bills, buy what they feel like, and hope something is left at the end. But that's not a plan. That's a risk, and a risk that can be costly. A small slip-up now, like overspending on your credit card, or ignoring an investment opportunity, can affect your life for years. The truth is, no one is born knowing how to manage money. Schools don't teach it, and at home it's often a taboo subject. So we grow up not understanding basic concepts like compound interest, inflation, or emergency fund. And all of that makes a huge difference. Learning how to manage your money is an act of freedom. It's what allows you to say yes to opportunities and no to traps. When you understand how money works, you start making better decisions. You stop impulsive spending, start saving, investing, planning trips, preparing for emergencies, and even achieving dreams. That's what financial education is. A powerful tool that transforms your relationship with money. And more than that, it transforms your life. Let's picture a situation. Things are going well. You're getting your salary on time, paying the bills, and even enjoying life a bit. But suddenly, an emergency hits. It could be an unexpected layoff, a health issue, a car repair, anything that demands immediate money. So, what do? Many people panic in that moment because they simply have no savings. And you know why? Because they never thought about saving. They never treated it as a priority. Saving money is a habit, and it needs to start now, even if it's with just a little. Saving isn't just for rich people. On the contrary, it's what helps you avoid falling into even worse financial situations. Think of it like an umbrella. If you go out on a cloudy day, it might not rain, but if it does, you'll be protected. A financial reserve is that umbrella for tough times, and there's more. Saving is also a gift you give to your future self. That dream of traveling, changing cars, or having a peaceful retirement, none of that happens by magic. It all starts with the simple habit of setting aside a bit every month. But here's the thing. Saving doesn't mean saving what's left, because if you wait until something's left, there almost never will be. Saving means setting money aside before you spend. As soon as you get paid, allocate a portion. It could be 10%, 5%, or even less. What matters is starting. People who don't save live on the edge. And living on the edge is stressful. You lose sleep, become anxious, and every new bill feels like a nightmare. But people with savings sleep better, live more securely, and feel freer. So remember, saving is more than just putting money aside. It's building a solid foundation for your life. It's taking care of yourself with love and responsibility. And that's exactly why understanding how money works is the first step to truly building wealth. By the way, since you're here, I've prepared a special gift for you, a free ebook with practical tips to help you organize your finances and take the first steps toward financial freedom. It's in the description. Limited copies available, so download it after the video. It's quick and it will help you a lot. Now, back to our topic. Now that you understand the importance of saving, here comes the next big lesson. Saving alone is not enough. You need to make your money grow. And this is where many people make a silent but dangerous mistake. They leave their money sitting in a savings account, thinking that's enough. Let's be clear, leaving money idle is like planting a seed and never watering it. The seed has potential, but without care it won't grow into a tree. Unfortunately, savings accounts don't keep up with inflation. In other words, over time your money loses value. What you buy today with 100 reais might cost 110 next year. If your money stays still, you lose purchasing power without even realizing it. And investing isn't just for rich people, okay? That's one of the biggest lies out there. Today, with just $30 or $50, you can start investing in safe options that yield more than savings accounts like Tesouro Direto, Brazilian treasury bonds, for example. Investing is like putting your money to work for you. Instead of sitting still, it will yield. It will grow little by little, month by month. And over time, you'll reap the rewards, whether that's buying a house, enjoying a peaceful retirement, or finally making that dream come true. The secret is to start small, but start now. Because in the world of investing, time is your greatest ally. The earlier you begin, the more time your money has to grow and multiply. So don't fall into the trap of leaving your money idle. Even if you think it's a small amount, invest it. Because every real you invest today can turn into security and freedom tomorrow. Have you ever been in this situation? You're scrolling through your phone, see an ad for shoes, a new phone, or a flash sale that says, "Only today," and before you know it, you've clicked, entered your card info, and completed the purchase. Then that thought hits, did I really need that? That's exactly where the danger of impulsive spending lies. These purchases happen in the heat of the moment, driven by emotion, anxiety, or even boredom. We buy to feel good, to reward ourselves, to relieve a rough week, but that feeling fades fast. What remains is the credit card bill, the debts, and often regret. It's like a trap disguised as pleasure, because the market is smart. It knows how to trigger your desires, the colors, buttons, time-limited discounts, the last units alerts. It's all designed to make you act without thinking. That's why so many people overspend, not because their income is small, but because their decisions are impulsive. And when you add up those small, poor decisions over a month, you realize you've spent hundreds, maybe even thousands of reais on things you barely used. Now, let's flip the script. Imagine that, before clicking buy, you pause and say to yourself, "I'll wait 24 hours. That simple delay changes everything. The impulse weakens and reason takes over. And do you know what happens most of the time? The urge passes. The item doesn't seem that essential anymore. You regain control. This technique, waiting a day before buying something, is powerful. It creates space between desire and action. And in that space, you can reflect, does this fit into my budget? Do I really need this? Does this expense bring me closer or push me away from my goals? Another powerful tip, make a priority list. Write down your financial dreams, pay off debt, travel, build an emergency fund, buy a car. Every time you feel like buying something on impulse, look at that list and ask, is this more important than my dreams? Spending consciously is liberating. You stop being a slave to consumerism and start using money in your favor. It's not about never buying what you love. It's about choosing when, how, and why to buy. It's about shopping with joy, not guilt. Remember, every time you resist an impulse, you strengthen your financial intelligence. And every conscious choice brings you closer to a lighter, safer, freer life. Imagine you're trying to fill a jar with clean, crystal clear water, but at the same time, there's a small hole at the bottom. You fill it, but the water keeps leaking. Now think, what will happen to that jar over time? It will always be half full, always leaking. That's the life of someone who's in debt no matter how much they earn. It always feels like something's missing. Accumulating debt, especially consumer debt, is one of the most common and dangerous financial mistakes. And the biggest problem isn't just the amount owed, but how the debt grows, often silently and quickly. Credit cards, for example, are among the most treacherous villains. They give a false sense of power. You buy now and pay later. It seems easy. But when the bill arrives, it carries the weight of all those purchases that felt harmless at the time. Now think about this. If you split the cost of a fridge into 12 monthly payments on your credit card, then the next month do the same for a phone, then a trip, and maybe a car repair. In no time, you don't even remember what you're paying for. You just know your salary comes in and disappears to cover a mountain of installments that seem never-ending. That's the famous snowball effect. And the more it rolls, the harder it is to control. And what happens when someone can't pay it all? The credit card's revolving interest kicks in. With sky-high rates, the debt doubles, triples, and suddenly what started as $500 becomes over $1,000. Worse yet, the person panics, takes a loan to pay the card, then another loan to pay the first loan. And the hole keeps getting deeper. But it doesn't have to be that way. The first step is to stop creating new debt. There's no use trying to put out a fire with more gasoline. If you're in debt, it's time to pause. Take a deep breath. Cancel installment purchases, avoid easy credit, and reorganize everything. The second step is to face your debts honestly. How much do you owe? To whom? What are the interest rates? What can be renegotiated? Many banks and financial institutions are open to negotiation, especially if you show that you want to repay in an organized way. Sometimes it's possible to consolidate everything into a single loan with lower interest and affordable installments. The third step is to create a plan. Choose a strategy. You might start by paying off the smallest debts first, snowball method, or the ones with the highest interest, avalanche method. The method matters less than having discipline and consistency. But before anything else, remember this. Only go into debt when it has purpose and return. A loan to invest in education, a course that increases your income, or buying a home can be a smart move. But debt just to keep up appearances, please others, or fulfill impulses, those hurt the most in the long run. Remember, debt isn't just a number on paper. It carries emotional weight, stress, worry. But it's also something you can overcome. With planning, clarity, and commitment, you can turn the game around. Imagine trying to cross a big city full of streets without a map, GPS, or even knowing where you are or where you're going. You'd likely get lost, waste time, and might never reach your destination. Living without a budget is just like that, walking in the dark, hoping things work out in the end. That's why understanding how money works is the first step to truly building wealth. Quick pause here. I've prepared a special gift for those watching this video and ebook with practical tips to organize your finances and take the first steps toward financial freedom. But there are limited copies, so if you want yours, the link is in the description. Go check it out before it's gone. Now let's continue. Many people think managing expenses is just for those who earn a lot. That's a big mistake. In fact, the lower your income, the more important a budget is because every cent counts. And without that control, money seems to vanish. Ever felt like your paycheck just disappeared? It didn't vanish, it just left without asking because you weren't watching. A budget is simply a clear plan for where your money goes. You're saying, this is for rent, this for food, this for transport, some for savings, and some for fun. And when you do this, something powerful happens. You take control of your financial life. With a good budget, you start to see patterns. Maybe you're spending too much on delivery, ride apps, or avoidable bank fees. And from there, you can make better decisions. It's like turning the light on in a dark room. Suddenly everything's clear, and you stop tripping over the same mistakes. Don't worry, it doesn't have to be complicated. A notebook, a simple spreadsheet, or even a phone app can help a lot. The key is to be honest. Write down everything that comes in and everything that goes out. Don't hide small expenses, like that coffee or a streaming subscription. It's those tiny amounts that together drain your paycheck. Also, Having a budget doesn't mean living without fun. On the contrary, it gives you freedom. When you know exactly how much you can spend on leisure, for example, you can enjoy it guilt-free because it's already part of the plan. Think of a budget as a friend that helps you get where you want without judging you. It just shows you the reality. And from there, you can plan your journey with more confidence. Remember, if you don't know where your money is going, you'll never know why it's missing. But if you monitor, plan, and organize, you build stability, financial peace, and a lighter future. It's easy to get carried away by the fast pace of life, where only the present matters: monthly bills, daily duties, instant desires. The future feels distant, like something that doesn't require attention now. But in truth, the future starts being shaped today, with each financial decision we make. When we don't plan for the future, we're essentially choosing not to care about what's coming. It's like walking aimlessly without a map, hoping things work out along the way. But without planning, the future can catch us off guard, and not always in a good way. We tend to live in the moment, prioritizing current needs and short-term wants. But what happens when we don't look ahead, when we're not prepared for the ups and downs life will inevitably bring? The answer lies in our ability to face challenges and reach goals. Financial planning isn't just about saving for retirement or creating an emergency fund. It's about making sure that when hard times come, you have the resources and peace of mind to handle them. It's about taking control now so that the future is a choice, not a burden. Right now, you might feel comfortable, like tomorrow can wait. But the future isn't something you can postpone forever. It comes faster than we think. And those who don't prepare may one day look back and realize they wasted valuable time. So ask yourself, what's your plan for the future? What do you want to build? What do you want to achieve? Every financial decision today is either a step toward that future or a missed opportunity. Don't underestimate the power of your choices. Financial planning is about vision, not just money and emotional readiness for what lies ahead. When you start planning, you start to empower yourself. It doesn't mean being perfect or having all the answers, it just means taking the first step, because sooner or later, the future arrives. And those who prepare in advance are in a much stronger position to face whatever comes. Sometimes the biggest changes start small, like a single drop of water that over time shapes a rock. It's the daily habits we often ignore that have the greatest long-term impact on our financial health. We focus on big goals, buying a house, clearing all debts at once, or making that one investment that guarantees independence. And that's great, but we often forget to look at the small actions we take every day. These small behaviors may be the key to success or to financial failure. Have you ever thought about how much you spend on seemingly small things, like an unused app subscription, that daily coffee from the corner store, or impulse buying clothes you don't really need? These costs might seem trivial at the time, but over time, they can eat up a significant part of your budget. In the same way, the habit of saving a little every month, even if it's just a small amount, is a powerful gesture. It's the kind of action that, although it may seem minor, can make a big difference in the future. It's like planting a seed. At first, you don't see anything happening, but over time, with constant care, it grows, bears fruit, and becomes a strong tree. Ignoring the power of small habits is like overlooking the impact a single step can have in a long journey. And the most interesting part is that these habits don't need to be difficult or complicated. Often they're just a matter of awareness, reflecting on your daily choices and making decisions more aligned with your financial goals can be the first step toward changing your financial life. So, instead of waiting for big changes or major accomplishments, how about focusing on the small actions you can improve? Saving a bit more, cutting an unnecessary expense, investing a symbolic amount every month. These small actions, accumulated over time, pave the way to the financial success you desire. Sometimes what you need isn't a major financial revolution, but a series of small adjustments that with patience and consistency will transform your reality. It's when we begin to understand that true power lies in the choices we make every day, in the small things we do daily, that we become masters of our finances. It's easy to fall into the trap of viewing our financial mistakes as irreparable failures. Often we'd rather ignore them or blame ourselves than see them as opportunities for growth and learning. But in reality, financial mistakes are an inevitable part of the learning process. It seems contradictory, doesn't it? How can something so negative be an opportunity for growth? The answer lies in how we deal with these mistakes. If we keep repeating the same mistakes without reflecting on them, they eventually become destructive habits. However, when we look at our mistakes constructively, they can teach us valuable lessons that help us make better decisions in the future. Every time you make a financial mistake, whether it's overspending, getting into debt, or making a poor investment, there's something to be learned. Maybe you realize you weren't prioritizing your needs efficiently, or that you were being driven by emotion when making purchases. Or maybe you find out you hadn't done enough research before making an important decision. The key is not letting mistakes become vicious cycles, but learning from them to avoid repetition. True failure isn't making mistakes, it's not learning from them. When you learn to understand why you made a certain choice and how it affected your financial life, you become better prepared to make wiser decisions in the future. But how can you do this? The first step is to stop blaming yourself. Everyone makes mistakes, and that doesn't make you financially incompetent. What makes the difference is your ability to recover. After identifying the mistake, reflect sincerely what happened. What circumstances led you to make that mistake? What can be done differently next time? Asking yourself these questions helps you better understand your behavioral patterns and, over time, make choices more aligned with your financial goals. Remember, the key to financial success isn't avoiding mistakes, but learning from them and growing. Each mistake can be an opportunity to sharpen your financial strategy and become more disciplined, more aware, and more prepared for the challenges ahead. Often, we treat credit as something distant or unimportant. But the truth is, credit is a powerful tool that can either build or break your financial health. When used wisely, it can open doors. But when poorly managed, it can become a financial prison. Think of credit like a knife. It can be useful for cutting, preparing food, or handling everyday tasks, but if used carelessly, it can cause serious harm. The problem is that many people ignore how much their credit choices affect their financial lives, and that can be harmful in the long run. Credit isn't something you can just ignore or use however you want. Responsible credit use means more than just paying your bills on time. It goes further. It involves understanding how the credit system works, how it affects your financial history, and how it can be used strategically to help you reach your goals without falling into the debt trap. A common mistake is thinking that credit is just an extension of your salary. Many people end up committing a large part of their monthly income to debt payments without realizing the impact on their financial life. The biggest danger is when this debt cycle becomes hard to break. For example, paying only the minimum on your credit card can cause your debt to grow exponentially due to high interest rates. Additionally, how you manage credit affects your credit score, a crucial factor when applying for a loan, financing a home, or even signing up for some services. If your credit is in good standing, you get better financial terms. But if your credit is negative, your options are limited and the costs can be much higher. So how can you understand and use credit the right way? The first step is to know your limits and be honest with yourself about your real financial needs. Credit should not be used to buy non-essential things, but rather to invest in things that will truly add value to your future. With this mindset, credit becomes a tool for growth, not a burden. The second step is to make regular payments and never go into debt beyond what you can repay. It's not just about paying on time, but paying more than the minimum whenever possible, to avoid high interest charges. Also, be careful not to use credit for impulsive purchases, which can lead to unnecessary debt. Credit can be a great ally, but only if you know how to use it wisely. The key is balance. Use it strategically, respect your limits, and make sure it works for you, not against you. If you're enjoying this content and feel it could make a difference in your life or someone else's, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Every click is a motivation for us to keep bringing you more valuable tips. And if you know someone who needs to take a new direction in their financial life, share this video. Who knows, this message might be just the push they need to start transforming their reality. Let's walk this journey of change and growth together.